Hi, I'm Alan White, CEO of Arriello. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the future of outsourcing from my perspective. If you've been in the life science industry for the last 30 years or so, you'll be familiar with the fact that for anything back office, a number of companies and service providers have turned to countries such as India or Serbia for a lower cost solution. It hasn't just been about low cost. If recruitment, management and processes are well defined, then the quality was also possible to be there. Equally, if done wrong, it wasn't. But the difference on costs between doing work in Western Europe, even Eastern Europe, versus say India was so large that it was worth it. There are other factors to consider as well. Communication, time zones, the physical difference in case you needed a face-to-face meeting, for example. Again, because of the cost issues, this was sometimes overlooked. I speak in the past tense because I believe we're now starting to see a change in outsourcing that, just like the waves of companies moved to India many years ago, they'll now start to change how they manage such services. I see two areas where this will happen, and to me, they are inextricably linked. The first is nearshoring, the second is artificial intelligence. In relation to nearshoring, the concerns I hear about offshoring are all related to what I said a minute ago: quality, distance, oversight. There's a perception that nearshoring is safer. I think generally it probably is as well, and that's why at Arriello we offer nearshoring for our in-house services. I still think offshoring is fine, as long as the partner's right, and certainly we at Arriello would work with offshoring partners where appropriate, particularly where there's a high volume activity that would not make sense to scale up to internally. But we would choose the right partner. But as cost parity takes place and perceived higher quality happens nearshore, then it's clear that companies see this as a safer bet. The second part is artificial intelligence, and this is critical to my argument. There's a lot of talk about AI and what's possible and what we still require human intervention. But what's crystal clear is that anything that's repetitive, relatively similar and high volume can and should be looked at to be automated or replaced with artificial intelligence, and this is the key. Let's look at an area that's very manual at the moment, that's almost crying out to have technology at least partially replace it: case processing. Every year the number of cases globally increases at a substantial rate. At the moment, a vast amount of such work takes place in lower cost countries, and yet the people managing such cases may be relatively junior. I believe this model will change. Imagine if technology can apply a much higher level of experience through the way it's programmed and also cut the cost by a significant amount. I'm sure this is what's going to happen. Furthermore, you as the client and as a user will have more oversight and more control. And this is just one example, there'll be plenty more. So what should you look for as the client? I'd argue that you should be very careful to assess the relative merits of offshoring versus nearshoring from a cost, quality and a comfort perspective, and that any possible vendor presents solid plans for implementing technology to improve their current processes. And that's exactly what Arriello is doing today, examining manual tasks and, where appropriate, improving those processes with the latest technology.